My name is Gauri Ji. I am from Bhavan Vidyamandir Erode. My question is, how can students like us become leaders in our own small ways and bring changes in the society, even if we are not in positions of power?
Well, you can lead by setting an example in whatever you do. Not everybody is going to be in a position of power. Not even everyone who wants to be in power ends up in power. But leadership consists of setting a good example, of inspiring those around you, and of being good at whatever you do. So the first thing to do for a leader is to know yourself, know your strengths, know your qualities, know your weaknesses, and try and overcome them. Then try and be the best version of yourself that you can be. After all, nobody else can be you. You are you with all your special qualities that God has given you. Be the best that you can be. If you have a talent, try and fulfill it. If you have an ambition, try and work to it. If you have a dream, try and live it. And if you find yourself facing up realistically to your own limitations, develop other strengths. Sometimes your greatest strength might simply be to be lending a helpful hand to your brothers and sisters, to your classmates. You might be the person who knows how to make others laugh. Or you might be the person on whose shoulder others like to lean when they want to cry. The human qualities you have are also the qualities of leadership. Ultimately, by being the best version of yourself, you will inspire others to want to be like you. And that would be the best way to lead.
Thank you, sir. Next question is by Rida Mariam Zubair from Al Amin Public School, please.
Good evening, sir. I am Rida Mariam Zubair, a student of Al Amin Public School, Edinburgh. And I would like to ask you, in today's polarized political situation, what steps can the Parliament and civil society take to institutionalize bipartisanship in national security matters, transforming crisis into moments of collective resilience?
A very good question, but you're going to get me into trouble because what you're asking is what I've been advocating, but not everyone likes it. Politics is, unfortunately or otherwise, in any democracy, it's about competition. And as a result, when people like me say that we respect our parties, we have certain values and convictions that keep us in our parties, but we need to cooperate with other parties in the interests of national security, the question you asked. Sometimes the parties feel that is disloyal to them, and that becomes a big problem. Which is your first loyalty? To my mind, the nation comes first. Parties are a means of making the nation better. So to my mind, whichever party you belong to, the objective of that party is to create a better India, in its own way. Now, parties have every right to disagree about the best way of doing that, the best way of making a better India. Some of us may say, let's say, more capitalism, some may say more socialism, some may be in favor of certain kinds of regulatory controls, some may be against too much regulation. So you have different points of view, that's fine. But ultimately, we must all be committed to a better India, a safer India, an India whose borders are protected, whose territory is safe, whose people's well-being can be nurtured. And that is my commitment. And that's, if we hold that ideal up, that kind of spirit should cross all parties, not just bipartisan, but multi-partisan. You ask about Parliament. In our Parliament today, there are 46 political parties. There must be some issues in which they all unite. That's certainly my passionate conviction. But it's not easy. As you know, if you're following the news, a lot of people have been very critical of me because of the stand I've taken supporting our armed forces and our government and what happened recently in our country and on our borders. But I will stand my ground because I believe this is the right thing for the country. And when I speak of India, I speak for all Indians, not just those who may like my party. And I believe that that's something that should apply to other parties too. I'm not only saying this to my party, I'm saying it to all parties. Put your differences aside when the nation is imperiled. Because if there is no, there's a very famous line of Nehru's, which I am very fond of quoting. Who lives if India dies? And that's a question to which there is no answer. India must come first, then only can we all do it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, the next question is Ms. Sohani Maria Kandat from G. Paul D. Higher Secondary School in Gabon, please. I'm sorry, Christy Sebastian. I'm sorry, Miss Christy Sebastian.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Shashi Tharoor from Bipartisanship, Bengali. My question is, how can India preserve its cultural and linguistic diversity in education while aligning with global standards for economic growth?
The truth is that global standards were not achieved in just one language. Yes, English is the number one language universally in the sense that it has often turned out to be the dominant language of geopolitics, the dominant language of technology, and for most countries, English turns out to be the preferred second language. Whether you're a German or a Chinese, your second language after German or Chinese tends to be English because it's the most useful. So to that degree, we do, I think, need to stick to English education, and we must value English in our country because we have that legacy, and it's easier for us to build on it than, say, for the Chinese who had no prior exposure to English, and who have to make much more of an effort to even acquire some of it as a second language. So we have an advantage, we shouldn't throw it away. But at the same time, we are right to be proud of our own languages, and there is absolutely no harm in our languages also being instruments of education. There's a lot of pedagogical theory that says that children learn best in their mother tongue. So if a small child is hearing a language on her mother's lap, when she goes to school, if she's taught in that language, she will learn better and faster. So that's also important. Maybe we can start introducing English as a second language very early on, without undermining the mother tongue. But let's face it, that English is still valuable because, number one, there's so much more knowledge accessible through English than is easily available in all our mother tongues. And secondly, that in an increasingly globalized world is a language that more easily connects us to others. As I said, if you are dealing with, once you grow up and you have a job in a company, you're dealing with foreign customers or clients, the odds are you may not know his mother tongue and he certainly won't know Malayalam, but you will be able to communicate to each other in English as a common second language. So let's not lose that, but let's at the same time be proud of what we've got in our own countries, in our own country's history, heritage and civilization, and cling on to that too.